Hello folks, just a bit of an update video today. I won't keep you long, I promise. And there is a normal Football Manager video out. I think, depending on when I release this, that came out earlier today. We'll assume I'm doing it that way round. But as the eagle-eyed amongst you will have noticed, for a little while now, that little join button has been next to the subscribe button here on the channel. And some of you have even clicked it. I've even got some people who've been channel members for quite a long time at this point, without me really offering anything in return. I've not really done anything with it. I set it up and then kind of got busy doing other things. Couldn't really work out a good way to do it and didn't really want to officially launch it without a plan to launch it properly and make it something cool that you'd actually want to be a part of. And I think we're kind of at that point now where I can launch it and it is going to be cool and you might want to be a part of it. So that's what this video is, just letting you know that channel memberships are now available, why I'm doing it and what you can get in return for doing it. So I'm going to kind of briefly explain what the offering is and then do a Q&A by myself, answering some of the questions I expect people to have. So firstly, if you're not sure what channel memberships are, they're just another way to support your favorite creators. They're very similar to Twitch subs. If you ever use Twitch and you do the little $4.99, get a little icon next to your name and emojis to use in the chat, and that it's exactly that bit here on YouTube. And that's the basics of what you get. You pay the price you choose to pay. There's tiered pricing, but whichever level you go in at, you get the little icon next to your name so people in the YouTube comments and in the live chat can see that you're a channel member. You've got emojis that you can use in live chats, and plus there's then some other stuff that I've thrown in as well. I have my notes ready. So some of the things that you can get through being a channel member are your name in the credits of all the videos, similar to how we've got the names in there for the Patreon people at the moment. They're staying, by the way. If you are a Patreon backer, I'm going to talk about you in a little while, but the credits will be a mixture of the Patreon people and channel members. Everyone will still stay on there. I'm going to be doing shout outs at the start of videos for channel members. So just in a little intro part, randomly pick one and just say thank you to this specific person for being a channel member, for making this video happening. It's not going to be too intrusive, don't worry, but it's just going to be a cool thing for those people who do choose to support the channel that way. And there's going to be sporadic exclusive members only live streams. Do not panic about this one. This isn't going to be, oh, I'm going to have a long running stream series and then every now and again I'm going to make one of the streams as part of that series members only. It's not that at all. It's going to be unique standalone content just for channel members. It's not even necessarily going to be regular gaming content. It could be in the form of a Q&A. It could be in the form of a live gaming session. It could be in the form of doing a little challenge thing as part of a series. Whatever it might be, it's not going to be anything that you're going to feel way to sell it, Kev. It's not going to be anything that you feel that you're missing out on if you're not a member, but it's just a cool little bonus if you are a member. And that's what all of this stuff is. None of it should affect your enjoyment of the channel if you choose not to do it. No content is being taken away. Nothing is being hidden behind a paywall. You're still going to get the same quantity and quality of videos that you've come to expect over the last 4 years. But there's just some extra bits that are being thrown in for the people who choose to hit that join button. And there's also going to be similarly sporadic, and when I say sporadic, I mean every 4 to 6 weeks maybe there'll be a live stream. There'll also be a behind the scenes video, which might be me going through the editing process or the thumbnail creation process, or showing you some of the bits in between the videos that I do, or asking a specific technical question about how I do the video. So that might be an interesting thing for anybody who's perhaps looking to get into content creation and wants some of the behind the scenes, how do I actually do what I do stuff. I think that's it. My list then goes on to talk about emojis and loyalty badges, but I already talked about those. So that's what you get for being a member. But why am I actually doing memberships, especially in light of the fact that I do have an existing Patreon as well? So the main reason for doing memberships for me, and certainly the reason for doing them now, is because ever since I made my announcement about what my series for FM20 is going to be, I have been inundated with people telling me they want to see something different. And I was quite open and honest with my thought process and my reasoning in the announcement video, and quite bluntly put it, I'm doing just non-League to Legend because standalone Road to Glories for the last 2 years, we did Nuneaton, we did Home. As much as I've loved doing them and the people who've enjoyed them have really enjoyed them, they're just not mainstream enough, they're not popular enough, they don't get the views to justify me continuing to do them. However, if a significant bunch of people were to start becoming members of the channel and making up that financial difference between what I make on non-League to Legend and what I make on those, and making it so that financially there's no difference between the two, then it becomes a realistic proposition again. Now, I'm not saying if you become a channel member, you're guaranteed to get a Road to Glory. And I don't even have a number in mind, but I think it's something that I'd kind of play by ear. If we had a whole load of people all sign up, and in our little private discussion area on the community page, the overwhelming message from channel members is we really want a Road to Glory running alongside non-League to Legend, and those people are making a significant financial contribution between them so that it justifies doing it from a business point of view, because ultimately to do that I have to sacrifice something else in the business, one of the other channels or a streaming thing or something else that I've got going on. So it's all about finding the time in the day to do everything that I want to do. And it does, I mean, we're a family of 5, you know, I'm a dad, I've got kids, I've got a partner. I have to make the right decisions to support my family, as I'm sure you do in your job on a daily basis. But like I say, if enough people were to subscribe, were to join, were to become members and tell me that's what they wanted, then it's much harder to ignore that voice than it is when it's at the moment I can just do a very simple financial decision. I don't earn enough money from doing Road to Glory to justify doing one. I can do other stuff with my time that will make me more money so I can support my family better. But I've explained it 3 times, I don't need to go through it again. You get the idea, and it's just part of a larger idea of, if I don't have to chase views to pay the bills, so if through channel memberships and Patreon and merch sales and sponsorships and all these other things, if that can get me to the point where I don't need to worry so much about views and ad revenue, it does allow me to be a little bit more creative with what I'm doing. It allows me to make the content I really want to make without worrying about whether it'll get loads of views. It allows me to make the content I think you'll really enjoy without worrying about how many new viewers it's going to bring in. And it just allows it to be more about my channel is paid for. You know, I can pay my bills, I earn my salary. Now I just need to be the most creative and the best YouTuber I can be. And as much as in an ideal world that's how it would work anyway, I'm sure you can understand it doesn't, because I have to do non-League to Legend every year because it's the one that gets all the views. Now, thankfully, I really love doing it. But there's always the temptation to do some experiments. And I've always avoided doing experiments on the channel because I think they're rubbish. I don't enjoy watching them. I certainly wouldn't enjoy making one, but I do always look at the amount of views they get when other people do them, and I think, wowzers, if I'm not doing a Road to Glory, I've got time to do some experiments, and that'll bring in some views and some subscribers and some sweet ad revenue. And I don't want to have to think like that. And like I say, it's always an internal battle with myself, and I just think channel memberships, if it's something that takes off, something that you all get behind, something that's supported as well as Twitch subs have been in the past, for example, then I don't need to think about that anymore, because it kind of the servicing the existing community, the people who are supporting me directly, becomes more important than that other side of things. I've waffled about this really badly, but I hope you get the gist. It just gives me that little bit more creative freedom to not worry about the bills because they're being covered. I just have to make good stuff then. And I think that's the important thing. And I think the other question that's probably going to be asked is, Kev, why are you doing this when you already have a Patreon? Why do you need both, you greedy monster? And I'm kind of reshaping how Patreon fits into the overall deal, because I'm sure most of you are aware this isn't the only YouTube channel I have. I've also got my vlog. I've got my second gaming channel. I also do Twitch. I write stuff very occasionally. I do bits of speaking here and there. I have lots of aspects to my business, and although it all started here on this channel, this is where it all began, and the Patreon initially was a Patreon for this channel, it's kind of become a Patreon for the whole thing. And because of that, whenever I put perks on it, they seem a little bit weird and don't make a lot of sense. I've got a lot of people who back the Patreon but only watch the vlog, but they're being offered a player in home, and it's confusing for everyone involved. So it's something I've tried to do. You'll have noticed me do it with my social media stuff like 6 months ago, and this was supposed to be part of that plan, and I just never got round to doing it. But I'm trying to separate all the channels off so that they're all different and all have their own social media and their own way of supporting the channel and all that kind of stuff. So Patreon is not going anywhere because, putting it really bluntly, I get a much bigger cut out of Patreon than I do out of YouTube membership. So if you're currently on Patreon, I'd much rather you stayed there. And I know some of you like Patreon, but equally I know some of you don't like Patreon. So going forward, Patreon is going to remain, but the perks are going to go channel individual through channel memberships. So if you were only on my Patreon because you wanted a player for home, then you're going to want to come over and get a channel membership instead. Cancel your Patreon, get a channel membership, because there will be one of the tiers, as soon as Non-League to Legend launches, one of the tiers will be getting a player in Non-League to Legend, for example. And as you've seen with the other perks and stuff, they're all specific to this channel. You get emojis to use on this channel, you get behind the scenes stuff specific to this channel. So memberships is all going to be channel specific, and if you're a big LOLLUJO fan but not bothered about the rest of what I do, memberships are for you. If you just want to support my family because you like the cut of my jib and you want to support me and want to see me do well, by all means stay on the Patreon, but there's not going to be any perks attached to that. Patreon is literally going to be a way for you to make donations if you feel like you want to support the endeavor as a whole, the whole trying to support my family with a bunch of small YouTube channels thing. So I don't expect anybody to have both. Please don't have both. If you're on the Patreon because you want the perks, move over to the membership on the channel you want the perks for. I will be launching this on the vlog channel very soon, and the LOLLUJO 2 will get its own version of this as well in time. So pick the channel you want the perks for and go and support that channel as a channel. If you just want to throw me a few quid every month because you're lovely, then by all means keep doing it on Patreon. You'll get your name in the credits either way. Patreon people will get their name in the credits for every channel. And then the channel specific people, the members, will get their name in the credits just for the channel they're a member for, mixed in with the Patreon people, but they also get their other benefits as well. And I think that's probably the fairest way to have it all set up. I hope nobody's upset at me doing this. It's no different to Twitch subs. It's no different to Patreon. We all have these things, but I know there's going to be some people who become irrationally angry at the fact I'm launching it. So just for you, for the irrationally angry, if you're still watching, by the way, does it help me to call you irrational? But please understand, you don't have to do this. The content you enjoy on the channel and have enjoyed for the last 4 years is not going anywhere. It's going to stay as it is. It's not taking anything away from anyone who chooses not to do this, but it's a way for those people who do want to support the channel, just like the people who want to support through Twitch subs, who want to support through Patreon. It's a way for those people to support what I do in a different way. It's a different option. If you don't like Twitch and you don't like Patreon, but you like the YouTube ecosystem, you can now do it on YouTube too. And wherever you do it, it's much appreciated. If you choose not to do it anywhere, the fact that you still watch my videos is much appreciated. But it's there as an option. I hope it works, because I would love to have the little behind the scenes chats. The first Q&A, the first member exclusive Q&A, is not going to be a Football Manager gaming session. It's going to be at some point in the next week, 10 days or so, and it is literally going to be us discussing my plans for FM20. So the people who are in on the members soon, you're going to get to have your say on what I'm doing. And I'm not saying off the back of it I'm going to immediately announce a road to glory. I'm putting it really bluntly. If 9 people sign up for it, then that's not going to be enough to justify doing a road to glory. But if we get a load of new members and they all want a road to glory, then that's a discussion we'll have in that members only Q&A, which will be coming up soon. I'll announce that through the community page. But again, only members will see the announcement. It's clever the way it all works. But if you want to know more, click the join button, have a little look. If you like the look of any of the tiers, go for it. If you don't, carry on as you are. It's all good. Please don't be angry with me. I don't know why I'm so afraid of doing this. Oh my word. It's a good thing. It's a positive thing. And it will ultimately lead to more security for the channel and better quality content going forward. And that's the important thing. That's the headline to take away. It all goes towards improving what I do. So hopefully you are on board with that. Leave a thumbs up if you are. I would normally say subscribe at this point, but no one's watching this video if they don't already subscribe. So just thank you for watching, and normal service resumes in the very next video. The next video will be a Football Manager one again. And thank you for watching this deep into this video and at least considering becoming a channel member, because that's awesome.